All right, we are back at it again, and this is episode 23. This is the Jordan episode, man, of Rap and Reason podcast. I am one of your hosts, Dr. Jeremy C. McCool.
And I'm Earl Hopkins, man. What's going on?
What's good, bro? How you feeling, man?
Same, bro. Same old, same old. Just ready for the holidays, bro. It's about that time, end of year. In the news business, you're kind of rushing to get things done before things wrap up. Because this is just a month of PTO. So, just getting mentally ready for that. I'm gonna drive back to Ohio to see my family, spend some time with them. I think through New Year's. So, I'll be there for a while. But yeah, just to tap in back with my peoples, back with my city, man. What you got planned for the holidays?
Nice, nice, bro. Well, as soon as this grading gets done, man, I'm wrapping up grades. So this is a busy time for professors too, bro. It's
Hmm.
grading season. But yeah, I'm wrapping that up, man. But I'm gonna dip off to Cali for a little while. So I'll be in Cali for about a week. San Diego. So looking forward to that. Kicking it with moms a little bit. And yeah, man, same thing. Tapping in with family. I might try to get to Chicago over this winter break at some point too. Maybe after the new year. But yeah,
Hmm.
same thing, bro. Working, man. I'm looking forward to using this winter break that I have to get some more writing done for the book, man.
Yes, sir. Like, so, I mean, basically, like with this month coming to a close or within the next couple weeks, bro, we'll be halfway through that
That's
joint for the most
crazy.
part. Yeah. So it's been a long journey, bro. And again, with our schedules, it's made it a bit more challenging than I may have anticipated, but I'm glad we got the right people, the right team, and right participants, bro. I know you've interviewed some superstars. We got some more superstars on the way to interview, dog. So it's
Yeah.
exciting. It's exciting
Bro,
stuff.
it's exciting, bro, and it's like now we're in the thick of it. Like we're interviewing getting all different types of perspectives, everybody from journalists to scholars to YouTubers to all of these different people who work within hip hop and are a part of the culture, producers, artists. Like I think that it's we're watching it become more and more complete of a project, and I think, like I said, I don't. There's nothing like the book that we're writing out. So this is gonna be a
Absolutely.
landmark project for the culture.
Yeah, and everybody I've interviewed kind of, I feel like they get the sense of that. They're like, hold
Yeah.
on, this is okay. Cole's first like real like outline, biography in a sense, and then we're talking about conscious rap and then Kendrick, and then how those two kind of combine and everything, bro. Like we're talking about the historic mark that these artists have made within conscious rap and within hip hop, but also the book itself is going to be a mark. Um,
Yeah. It's like
Yo,
the
it's
evolution.
layers.
It's layers, man. It's the evolution of what conscious rap looks like
Mhm.
and what it's become now.
And
And
it's future essentially too, if you think
absolutely.
about it. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
The future of it and where it's going and the direction that hip hop is going in, man. And I think it's dope. And I think right now is a better time than ever because I think right now the discussion is being had more in the mainstream about, you know, what artists are impactful and are really impacting the culture versus which ones are not, are
Hmm.
like us.
Right. And shoot, like
Yeah.
even doing this podcast, it's made me think about music differently. And I hope it's done that for our listeners too, who
Hmm.
I know are hip hop heads or purists in some form or fashion. But I think like even me as a reviewer, content creator along your side, it's made me think about, okay, what am I actually listening to, bro? Like what am I taking away from this? Am I listening to empty calories sonically, or is it something that really has a can make an impact, bro? So yeah, like it's
Yeah.
making me consume music different.
Absolutely. Same here. And I think that that's even something in my classes that I've had students say the same thing. It's like, it makes you start thinking about when you have these discussions about conscious rapping, we're writing about it. So when you're doing that, it's starting to make you think like, man, what am I consuming on a regular basis? And like,
Mhm.
why am I consuming it? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm at a stage, man. I hit a point. I remember like I really hit a point where I couldn't even listen to the drill stuff the same, because it's
Hmm.
like it works for me only like in the gym, and
Yeah.
anything outside of that, when I hear it, it's just like, yeah, like you know,
Hmm.
yeah, it doesn't resonate the same.
Absolutely nah. And like I think that was a big one for me. Asking why. Like sometimes people would be like, "Why do you listen to that artist? Like he's cheeks." And I would say, it's just hard. Like that would be my only response, bro. That's the only thing I can muster up. And it makes you okay. like if I'm listening to, if I don't really have a firm answer on why I'm listening to this, and I'm thinking about the messagings or messages or lack thereof, and if there is a messages about killing, shooting, doing drugs and all that stuff, I'm listening to this in the crack of dawn, and I'm listening to this as I go to sleep in the gym, outside of the gym. Like, how is that actually affecting my mindset? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it makes you reflect on that a lot deeper. And then when you plug in actual quality music, then you see the difference that it has on you mentally, spiritually, even physically in some cases, bro. Like it's crazy,
It's
man.
crazy, bro. Like the what we consume, man, it plays a bigger role than we give it credit for, especially
Mhm.
when it's on a regular basis. Like when you,
Yeah.
like you said, when you're listening to that type of messaging every single day, like I think there's a time and place for everything. You know what I mean? So, like
Mhm.
I said, I listen to a lot of violent music in the gym. I do.
Mhm.
I listen to sometimes in the morning if I'm just tired and I just need some hype stuff. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Sometimes I'll turn some of that stuff on, but like I can't listen to that stuff all day. You know what I mean?
Nah, not all day, bro. And like around Christmas, since Christmas is around the corner, I'm thinking like, what Christmas song? I'm not a big Christmas music person, bro. Like I know my lady, she's playing like old classic tunes from like the 40s,
hmm
50s and all that. I know there's hip hop renditions of Christmas songs that I can't really rock with. Do you have any favorites, any songs, albums that you go to?
So for me, my girl is also like she dang near Mrs. Claus at this point. Like she's all in, bro. Like, bro, she's all in with Christmas, bro. We put
Yeah.
up the tree, we did the cookie decorating. I had a ball though; it was a good time, but yeah,
Hmm.
she's all in with Christmas, and I think it
Yeah.
was dope. I think the songs that stood out to me, for honest, like there aren't many of the hip hop ones that I go back to. The only one that I really go back to, as far as hip hop Christmas songs, is like the Snoop one, the Santa Claus Go Back to the Ghetto, that one, the Death Row one. That one is hard. I've
Think
always
about
liked
what
those.
you just said out loud, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's the song title, bro.
I don't know if
Wow.
that's the song title. I know that's what it says in the song.
Oh, I thought that was a
It
title. I'm
might
like,
be,
yo,
but
that's
no,
crazy.
no, that might be the title for. Hold on, Death Row Christmas song. Why they're gonna know exactly
Death
what we're
Row
talking about.
Christmas song. Wow.
I think that might be the title of the song, bro. Once I said it out loud, I said, "Yeah, that do sound crazy. That sounds crazy."
That's wild,
Hold
bro.
on, let's see. Ghetto. Santa Claus
Ghetto
in the ghetto.
Christmas.
I think that isn't. I mean, no. I think it. Yeah, it's called Santa Claus Goes Straight to the Ghetto. I'm not tripping. That's the name of the song.
Hey, nobody talks about the routes, the territories, you know what I mean? That Santa Claus has to like
He
maneuver
got
through, bro.
he got to go everywhere, bro. You got to go. Hey, the kids need toys, bro. And I'm saying,
Wow.
and
Wait,
that's the
wait.
one on. Have you ever seen Friday After Next? That's the song that's on there.
Oh, got you. So it's on that soundtrack.
It's on the
So can
soundtrack.
Santa wear his red suit and a Crip hood? Nobody ever asked
Um,
that question, bro. You got to wear different colors when you maneuver around LA.
you know what though? Yeah, he might need to chill.
You feel me?
He
Like,
probably got to switch it up. No, that
yeah.
no, that song is hard though. Like, listen to it. If you've never heard it, bro, listen to that song. That's probably the only like hip hop one that I go back to, just because I love the production on. I love the beat. I think it's just a dope song. I
Yeah.
think Nate Dogg is on the hook of that. Yeah, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
so I know it's fire.
Oh, it's
Nate's
fire.
on the
You already
hook.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the whole.
Mhm.
It's really like the main Death Row artists who are on it. Fire.
Yo,
That
I
one.
can't think of any that I listen to. Like the only, bro, I ain't gonna lie, the only really Christmas songs that I listen to is the Mariah Carey one. And usually I'm not turning it on. I'm just enjoying it, whoever
Oh,
plays it.
oh no, I'm in on the Temptations one.
Oh, see, I'm not even hip to the
Oh
Temptation.
nah,
Yeah.
that's the Christmas album.
Wow.
Temptations Christmas album is fire. Like they've got ones you've heard, you probably just didn't realize was the Temptations because
I
they got
probably
all
didn't know it.
they have
Yeah.
all the ones that I played at all the black holiday functions.
I do the Boys to Men Christmas album. I do once Let It Snow comes on, I'm in that mode for sure. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of Friday After Next, the opening scene, that Silent Night, that's the
Hmm.
Temptations one.
Oh, okay. All right. Shoot.
Yeah, that one. But if you've never heard Temptations Christmas album, please check it out. That's to me, that's the best one that I enjoy the most because the singing on it is great.
Mm.
Like
Wait, that
It,
just made me think. Did Boys to, and it's a song called Silent Night, like the opening
yeah,
song.
yeah,
So did Boys to Men then do their own version of the Temptation Silent Night?
yeah. Everybody's remade
Those.
Silent Night. I don't know who. I don't even know who made the original Silent
The
Night.
original, yeah, it's probably
Yeah,
somebody from the 30s,
or the
40s.
30s or something. Yeah, that's one of the ones that's been around forever. But I think
Yeah.
that, but a lot of people, I think theirs and uh, uh, what you move? Dang, you just named them.
Not Boys to Men.
Boys to Men.
Yeah,
Boys
yeah,
to Men are. I think theirs is fire too, though. They've made some fire renditions of Christmas songs too. I think
for sure.
vocally, I think those are the two ones that resonate with me the most. Stevie Wonder got a couple too. You
Yeah,
know,
he does.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I try to play the soulful ones when I do play it because if not,
Mhm.
it's like, eh. You
Yeah.
got Christmas movies you rock with? Oh, you the Grinch.
Bro, I'm basically the Grinch. I'm
Right?
not gonna lie. Cause like my family, like, they weren't like crazy big on Christmas. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And it isn't a religious thing. Like my peoples, we celebrate Christmas. We always have. I just kind of like, I don't know, bro. Like I'm the type, I like Halloween. Like I
I
like
am too.
New Year's Eve. Like that's my holiday where I'm like, oh yeah,
Um,
we gearing up for this one. You know what I mean? It's not really
okay.
Christmas. Like
Okay.
I don't know. But my girl, like, yeah, that's her thing. Like her and her family, they order a tree in advance, like months in advance. They set it up. It's huge. It's like an 18-foot tree in
Oh,
their
they're going
house
crazy
every
with it.
year. Yeah, they go
Oh,
crazy.
they going
They
in.
do everything but caroling, basically. Shout out to Ashley and her family. I love y'all. But yeah, they go like they do it all. They do it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, they're going crazy. See, yeah, that's how my girl and her family are. And I've always loved Christmas because we always got together. We did it on our own, but then we all got together at one of my aunt's cribs. And it would be a good time to see all the cousins and family. So it was always dope. But I definitely was a bigger Halloween person just because it's 1 week before my birth. It's 1 week after my birthday. So it's like
Yeah.
birthday then Halloween. It was like
Yeah.
I was always an October baby. So I rocked with it. But I like Christmas. Christmas is cool. The movies out that really resonated with me. I played a couple for my classes. So
Hmm.
I always do. It's pretty much my tradition as a professor. Is I had a final projects due the week before, or their papers due the week before, and then on the actual final exam day, we watch a movie together.
Hmm.
Um, but my favorite one is Home Alone. Man, we watched Home Alone in one of the classes. Home
Yeah.
Alone and The Grinch. I probably like my two ones that I go. The Jim Carrey Grinch though, like
The Jim Carrey joint. Yeah, yeah. The live action one. Yeah.
yeah, that one's
Yeah.
funny.
It is funny, actually. I was about to say, like, I like Christmas movies that are just good movies. They just
Yeah,
happen to be around Christmas. Like, Home Alone is one for me. Because, like, if it was Thanksgiving, we would love it.
it
If it
still
was
would
a
be fire. Yeah.
holiday, it's a fire movie.
Because Christmas don't really
Yeah.
play a major role in the movie for real.
Nah, other than like the conditions. Okay, it's icy, so we gonna get these robbers to slip. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
really, and I feel like they just needed a ploy to get their parents to like go on a trip for him to like be alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess,
And,
but
and, and maybe it's because we're watching it now at the age where we could be parents. We don't have kids yet, but we could be parents. And so
yeah,
watching it now, I was like, bro, this kid is terrible. Like, I was watching how he was talking to his parents, and I was like, oh, this is terrible.
yeah,
I didn't notice this as a kid, but now as an adult, I'm like, bro, he talking crazy to his mom.
crazy. I like This Is Christmas though. Like that's just an all-star black cast. You know what I mean? Like, of course. I don't know if this is a Christmas movie, but it's The Holdovers. That's like
I
that
never
was
saw that.
That's an Oscar nominated film. And actually the actress, she was like one of the actresses. I want to say, who I don't want to mess up her name, y'all. Divine Joy Randolph, if I'm not mistaken. She won an Oscar Best Supporting Actress for The Holdovers. Movie came out this year.
Okay.
It was around the holidays. And I'm pretty sure it's a Christmas movie. Dope film. That's in my top 10 at least. So yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, man, look, holidays, man, it's a good time, man, and it's one of those things where we're getting the cold. Not a lot of snow, but out here at least. But we're definitely getting the cold, and I'm not a fan of that element. So that's why
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to going to Cali for a minute.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, Cali, yeah. It's different when you can just take a trip and go somewhere a lot with a different like temperature. You know what I mean? Where it's
Yeah.
sunny, you ain't got to worry about, okay, what jacket am I wearing with what hoodie? Like, nah.
Yeah, man. I need a break. I need a break from
Mhm.
it.
For
Yes,
sure.
sir. But we
So
we got some music to talk about too.
we do. So a part of like this book, obviously we interview people and you interview like remind us who you interview, bro. It's a big deal, big name too. And y'all had a big debate. Like, how did
Yeah.
that go?
Absolutely, man. So for the book, we actually just interviewed Justin Hunt, who's his YouTube channel is The Company Man. So shout out Justin Hunt, man.
Shout out to him.
Shout out to him, man. Great interview, man. We ended up on there day near 2 hours. And when I was only expecting it to be a 30-minute interview.
Yeah.
But man, a dope journalist. He was a journalist during the blog era. He was, I believe, the brand ambassador for Hip Hop DX at one point. Um, and yeah, bro, like solid interview, man. And we had a lot of good debates about hip hop. One of those debates that came up, and this was actually outside of the interview. This was after the interview I wrapped up, but we started talking about Cole. And you know what I mean? For me, Cole is not in my top five, but he definitely in my top 10 or 15. You know what I mean?
Mm,
He's in one of the two. I have to think about it, but he's close. It's like, you know what I mean? He's not in my top five, but he around the corner. You know what I mean? He's like
mm,
probably one album away from, you know what I mean, getting closer, you know
okay.
what I mean? For me.
Hmm.
Um my interviewee did not agree.
Yeah.
And he not only did he not agree, he started naming some of the people who he thought went over him, and he named Black Thought.
Hmm. Yeah.
Black Thought is dope. For anybody who's not familiar with Black Thought is a rapper out of the Roots, who is phenomenal. One of the best
Amazing.
technical lyricists ever. Probably like one of the greatest. Not too many people can just straight up out rap him. But
100%.
but but me and Justin Hunt, we put up a joint poll on Instagram to gauge uh, which one was better. It was Justin's idea was like, well, put a poll up and we'll see. And let me tell you, people who voted Black Thought by a long shot. You know what I
That's
mean?
crazy,
But
yo.
to be fair, he got his audience as hip hop heads, and he got a bigger Instagram following than me. So it was mostly his people. To be
Yeah.
fair,
Mm.
and he got more hip hop purists straight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it brought up. I don't think I wouldn't put him above J. Cole. I think as a lyricist, I would. If I'm just saying just straight rapping.
Yeah.
But as far as like whose music is more impactful and who I feel more and who has the messaging that resonates with the people, to me, I just can't put him above Cole as an
Yeah.
overall rapper. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so that sparked a bigger conversation that we wanted to have on here, and that conversation is pure lyricism and technical rapping over rap that really resonates with you in messaging. What are your thoughts on that?
So I think because we had this debate, like there's certain artists, of course, that are technically like insane, bro. Like Eminem is one of the more complex, complete, like technicians in rap.
Absolutely.
But when it comes to like that type of like rap style, I always go for someone with a simpler, like style, but whose music, whose songwriting to me stands out and it's easier for certain messages, certain topics, just the music itself to cut through easier. I
Yeah.
don't want to say like, yo, I only want to listen to washed down type of music. That's not what I'm saying. It's just certain technical skills aren't necessarily required to make good music, bro. And that's just a fact. Like I think of it vocally. Like you can have a Jennifer Hudson level vocalist, right?
Hmm.
But I'm more inclined to listen to a Janae Aiko who isn't as vocally talented, but who just makes the type of music that I would rather listen to. And so that's how I view rap as well. So instead of listening to an Eminem, I'll listen to a Jay-Z. Jay-Z is a lyricist, don't get me wrong, and he's also talented. And he's a technician in his own right, but like a Black Thought, like shoot, who else? Like a
Royce,
Royce the
Royce
Five
five
Nine.
nine. I was just about to say Royce
You know
or
what I mean? Like,
Tech
and Royce
Nine.
actually makes good music, Tech Nine, and Royce and Tech Nine actually make good music. But again, I'd rather listen to like a Tupac, a Hove, like people
Right.
of that ilk. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's where I would lean towards. I would lean towards a Cole versus a Black Thought. Even though I think we both think Black Thought is amazing. You know what
Yeah,
I
absolutely. And that's why
mean?
I was only I was only arguing because he was like by a long shot, and almost all these people in his comments were also like, it's not even close, and that's why I was
Yeah,
like, I can get if you feel like you like him better, but let's not act like it's like by
yeah.
light years ahead. And that's to me that was the thing that stood out to me, and I agree with you. I'm somewhere in the middle. I
Mm,
typically like I like people who I want to hear bars and I want to
Yeah.
hear you be able to technically rap well. You know what I'm saying? That I like that, but I like for you to be able to switch in and out of it in order to drive your messaging home
Yeah.
in a profound way. And I think that to me, Cole does that in an excellent way. Cole is still very lyrical, has songs that are super
Yeah.
lyrical, but he's
Mm.
able to also pull back on that to drive a message home more directly and then jump back into it. And I even
Mhm.
think Kendrick is able to do that really well. I think
Yeah,
that Kendrick is
exactly.
very technical. Kendrick to me is on the same lyrical proficiency or lyrical ability of a Black Thought,
I
of a
agree.
Royce, and all these people who we're naming, but
Yeah.
he's able to pull that back in order to drive a message home. Um,
Hmm.
and to me, I think that's where I kind of lean. I like both. Um, and I listen to some of the ultra technical people too. Like I said, I listen to Royce da and I listen to those, but
Yeah.
I gravitate more to the Coles, to the pop, to those people
Yes.
who are saying stuff that I care about more. And I think that's
Hmm.
what it boils down to. Your message is resonating with me more than me
Yes.
just being in awe of your lyrical ability.
That's what I'm saying. People get caught up into the awe. Like, you know what I mean? Like they
Yep.
want to be some certain hip hop fans want to just be established off of the basis of emceeing skills. But again,
Mm-hmm.
like when it comes to listening to music, people want to connect with you. So if you can connect with me on a human level using this, using whatever skills that you have, whatever lyrics you feel like fit in this pocket right here, bro, I'm always going to lean towards the music. And I think the difference between you and I, like as far as the music we consume, I'm sure there's many differences if we break it down for real, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to listen to, or I'm able to connect with like a Travis Scott who I don't think has ever been accused of being lyrical. I think if somebody said he's a lyricist, I'd be like, you just haven't listened to Travis music at all. But yeah, like I'm able to like still connect with that, even though he's a lesser skilled MC, because he can craft his songs in a way that gets me hyped or gets me excited. It touches me in some type of way.
Yeah.
Although he doesn't always have that level of messaging in his music, obviously. So
But you
um
know what? You know what it is, though? I think it's just because you're still in your 20s. When I was
mm,
in my 20s, I was outside a lot. I
yeah.
feel like when I was,
Headspace is important for
yeah,
sure.
headspace is important. Like when you're
Yeah,
going to clubs regularly, you're good. That's the music that's gonna resonate with you
for
more
sure.
because you're seeing it in that setting.
Hmm.
Because I'm not in that environment as much anymore. I'm
Mm,
outside every blue moon, but I'm not
yeah,
outside every weekend. And I
yeah.
think that, but when I was, I feel like that type of music I listened to more. I
Mm,
consumed it more. I felt it more. But now but the primary place that I'm listening to music at is home, car,
yeah,
I mean, maybe a lounge. I think I pay attention when the lyrics aren't there in those
yeah.
settings. It's like, eh.
For sure. For sure.
But when you're outside, it's different because you're not. You care. The production is what's the driving
It's a
force.
driving force. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like when I'm in my crib, I want to listen to Isaiah Rashad. Like I want to listen to a Smino. Yeah. And
Yeah, you
so
want somebody who's saying something when you're in the car.
something. And it's just smooth music. Like you know what I mean? So we could go on and on. But yeah, I think that's and I think it's a generational difference too, because again, I feel like people that are of a certain age, of a certain demographic, they're gonna lean towards a certain style. And those top 20s, top 10s, top fives are always going to be subjective. That's always going to spark debate. So I never take a person when somebody throws in somebody who I would be like, what? Now, what I do have a problem with is this cannabis mafia, bro, that just
Hey,
came out
y'all
of
leave
nowhere,
us
dog.
alone, man.
Yeah, bro. Like, come on, bro. We're not
Hey,
going to have a conversation about, say, like, okay, let's say we're having a technical versus songwriting or whatever, like, conversation. We should never, and I want y'all to respond to this. We should never have a conversation about cannabis who got smoked by L Cool J, right? Okay. We're never gonna put him
debatable. That's
but I
debatable.
think he got smoked. I
Cannabis
think he
song was
put up a
fire.
fight. Don't get me wrong, but are we gonna put him over Kendrick Lamar all time just because you feel he raps better? Like,
And
not only did he get,
I don't
yeah,
even agree with that.
bro, like, and on top of that, him as a battle rapper, right? Like, cannabis isn't, it doesn't have the most polished career when it comes to battle rap.
Bro, I remember. I see. I'm a battle rap fan.
You're a
I
fan
watch
about it.
battle rap. Like I watch URL, Smack, like
Hmm.
uh RBE, all that. I watch battle rap.
Yeah.
So And I remember what happened to Cannabis on
Come
that.
on, bro. And so if you're gonna have the conversation, who raps better between him and Kendrick? If you're just gonna bare bones it and just who raps better, I'm like, bro, he was in a space where the whole focus is battling, rapping, writing. And even then, he wasn't necessarily up to par, up to competition. So we can't have that conversation, bro. Shout out to the mafia. Like the cannabis mafia is something I
Yo,
never thought I would approach and
I
rap.
never saw, man.
Yeah,
They flooded one of our shorts about y'all don't know nothing about hip hop, man. Y'all, I was like, yo, I
yeah.
didn't. I don't know if he sicked them on us or what, but bro, that was I was like,
Yeah,
yo, where did these cannabis people come from? But no, let me
yeah,
tell you though, cannabis is a dope lyricist. Don't get
for
me wrong,
sure. I won't take that away.
but to mention him as better than Kendrick to me is just crazy. Like
It's crazy.
to me that's when that one's not even like what are we talking about here?
If cannabis is in your top 20, then Kendrick has to be in your top five. If I just can't imagine how it wouldn't go that way based on where the scale is. You know
But
what I'm
you know
saying?
what? There's a lot of people who don't like Kendrick because he's commercially successful.
That's true.
But they try to downplay his actual lyrical abilities
Mm-hmm.
because of the fact it's almost like it's that mentality that's in a lot of like hip hop fans of you sold out once you're not underground no more. You know what I mean? Once you're
Right.
not like now that you have pop songs and songs that are popular,
Mm-hmm.
you're not one of us no more in this
Right.
underground hip hop, MF Doom, atmosphere,
Yeah.
those type of that elk, cannabis,
Mm-hmm.
that type of like rapper. You're not like this. And
Yeah.
I think it's kind of crazy
It's crazy to me
to
too. Yeah.
discount somebody's credibility because they're successful
Like,
commercially.
and that doesn't take away from the skill because you can still go to every Kendrick album and say, okay, like the skills are always going to be up to par. Like I feel like he proved he was one of the best rappers on the planet. Section 80, like you know what I'm saying, the Kendrick
Absolutely.
Lamar EP, like that's how far I say
Go,
he's earned his stripes. Like
go
you
go
know,
listen to Rigor Mortis. Go listen to his
oh
early
please,
stuff of him rapping and just
yeah.
like I don't get it. I don't get
I
it.
don't get it, it's that parasocial relationship we've talked about on the pod many a times. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like because people are attracted to a certain sound, a certain era of an artist, anytime they go outside of that, they're like, but how I am as a musical fan, I always love versatility. So when you're in my top five, top 10, I think of it, okay, what are the different phases of your artistry? And did you match the quality of said phase that you entered? Or
Right.
did it taper off? Like I love Kanye West to death, like as an artist, as a musician. But I feel like his last maybe 10 years in music has been pretty pretty inconsistent, if not shaky. Like outside
Yeah,
of maybe
absolutely.
what's that joint?
Donda or Pablo.
Pablo. Donda was cool though. I
Donda was
like
cool.
Donda. I like Donda, but outside of that, those two projects, I'll say, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I'll only do this very briefly. I don't want to get professory here, but I'm gonna go do briefly just as something for people to think about. Like when I had these debates with people, this is a theory that pops in my mind. So there's a scholar by the name of Stuart Hall, rest in peace. He's no longer here, but he came up with an idea of called the theory of encoding and decoding. And like
Mm,
encoding is pretty much whoever is like creating a message, and in this case we're talking about hip hop, so it'd be a song. They're creating that message using their their past experiences, their belief system, their faith, their all of their ideologies are coming together for them to create the message, which is encoding. And then decoding is pretty much like the consumer, whoever's listening to the music or the message, um, based on their own beliefs and ideologies and culture and beliefs. That's
yeah.
how they're decoding that message. So, like a lot of times when people are listening to music, and you're always wondering, like, how are these people hearing it differently than I'm hearing it?
Uh-huh.
It's because they've already built their ideologies about this artist or about this type of music or this type. So they're not even listening to it from a blank slate. They're
Mm-hmm.
coming into it with their own beliefs and ideologies already. So when I
Mm-hmm.
listen to hear people's musical thoughts, sometimes I'm like, okay, this is just where you're at and how
Yeah.
your beliefs are. You're not going to look at it like I'm looking at it just because I mean, we have different beliefs, different cultural identities, different whatever the case may be. That's
Yeah.
like impacting. All right, professory stuff done. I just why,
No,
but
yeah.
that's
I
what helped
agree
me
though.
understand it more.
I agree because some people are just stubborn, bro. Like when it comes to country music, again, bro, I have to. It's difficult for me to untangle my preconceived notions about what I'm expecting to hear and everything else. So I totally get it, and I can imagine even for when I become a more seasoned hip hop fan, and these newer artists, newer sounds try to emerge. I want to do my best in like opening my mind up. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
it is challenging, bro, and it doesn't help that people are stubborn. I'm not gonna lie.
absolutely, and it's me too. It's the same thing with me. Like when I see some of these young rappers, I'm gonna be honest. When they look like little junkies, my mind automatically is like, I know your music is gonna be trash. So
Mm,
like sometimes I have
mm.
to check myself because I'm like, I don't even want to listen to you because how you look. How you look is already making me think that your music is garbage. You know what I mean? And I know that's
Yeah,
wrong, but it's
yeah.
in my mind. I'm like, there's nothing that this 19-year-old with pink locks
Mm,
and face tats is gonna say that's gonna resonate with me. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
but sometimes I'm like, okay, hold on. I'm stereotyping this artist, and
yeah.
sometimes their music is good. So that's why I've started to listen to it anyway. And even in this podcast has helped me like be able to like, okay, let me give this a fair shot before I just, you know what I mean, tune it out.
True, true. Yeah, it's human nature though. Like in the music industry, you know this more than me. Like
Mhm.
there used to be like, folks there for styling artists. Like, okay, we're gonna make you stand out by giving you this color hair. We're changing your name or moniker and changing, so branding matters, bro. It always has. So hey, that's an element that's been long standing within music. So that's understandable for
Yeah,
sure.
it's the package. It's the package that you're giving to people because there has to be something that clicks in people's heads before they press play.
Yeah, for sure.
Typically you're not just listening to music blindly unless you're in a car listening to a playlist or something, or people aren't
Hmm.
even listening to radio that much anymore, so it's not like you're listening. People aren't typically listening to songs by accident anymore.
Facts, no. And I was listening to a YouTube channel. I want to shout it out, but I'm forgetting the name. But they were talking about how an artist like a Sexy Red Ice Spice, we saw them rise up the ranks, right? In
Mhm.
popularity within what, a year's time, bro? Like if not shorter, when you think about from their viral video song to the point where they're on like TV or they're performing at an award show. Like we saw that
Mhm.
happen in such a short time. And you got to think about what artists have been grinding for years and have yet to reach that point and whose music is so far better. You know what I'm saying? So you
Mhm.
think about, okay, who are we programmed to even not like necessarily, but see in our face every fight? You know what I'm saying? It's inescapable. So there's a machine behind certain people and it's definitely programmed purposefully. It's not by accident, bro. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
And branding is
Absolutely.
a key part of that for sure.
Yeah, and that's why there's so much money put towards marketing these artists, and that's the biggest bag that's being spent now. At one point, there was the biggest bag being spent on artist development and
Yeah.
actually making them a polished artist, and
Hmm.
vocal coaches and like those type of things. But now it's like the talent is now on the back burner, and it's like we need to put all the money towards making you visible and getting you on these
Yeah,
blogs, getting you on the shade room, and getting you on, you know what I mean, and putting you in front of people's faces is like now taking priority, which
for
is
sure.
unfortunate. But
Immediate training, by the way, is at bottom levels, brother.
oh my
Say that.
God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
But one artist or two people who I feel like have been consistent, not only the 2020s, like we talking 30, 35 years in the game, if not longer, is Dr. Dre and Snoop. They just dropped a new album called Missionary. Obviously, a play on Doggy Style, which is wild, but
Nasty work.
very on brand. You know what I mean? How did you feel about this new album from these two legendary artists and one of hip hop's greatest producers ever, if not the greatest?
Absolutely. I would say, man, so I went into this I intentionally went into this with a blank slate. I tried to.
Mhm.
I was
Yeah,
like, I can't expect this to be Doggy Style, which about is actually like, for me, it's probably one of the top 20 hip hop projects to me.
for
Hip
me, for
hop, period. Maybe
sure.
higher than that, to be honest. But just
Mhm.
an amazing body of work. I try not to compare this to that just because these people are almost 60 years old. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like this is 30 years. Like their messaging is gonna be different. It's gonna sound
Yeah,
different. Like don't expect that even. even though it's the same artist.
Yeah.
And going into it, man, I'm 50-50 with it. There's songs I
Mhm.
really like and there's songs I don't like. But one thing that is consistent is I think the production is amazing on this
Oh,
album.
it's amazing, bro. It's
Shout out to
amazing.
Dr. Dre. Like the production on here is fire. And I think that that's one thing that really stood out to me. But there are songs that I like. Um, Out of the Blue, I thought was fire.
Yeah.
Hard Knocks, I liked.
Mhm.
Um, Gorgeous with Janae Aiko. I always don't know if I'm saying her name right. Aiko, I don't know.
Janae Aiko. Yeah.
Aiko. Okay.
Aiko. Yeah.
Fire. I like that one. Last Dance with Mary Jane, I liked. Um, I don't necessarily like Skyscrapers, but I liked Method Man's verse on it.
Yeah.
I thought that he went crazy.
Hmm.
And then Now or Never with BJ the Chicago Kid, I thought was fire. So there's songs on here that stood out to me that I really liked. There's other ones that are skippable. Some of them are like super poppy, and I'm like, that ain't
Yeah.
on that. And you know what I mean? Those ones don't resonate with me at all. Like the joint with Sting, I'm never gonna listen to that again.
Mm.
There's songs on here that I'm like I'm cool on. But yeah, but I think there's some to take away from this. There's some songs on here that I like that I could see in some commercials too,
Yeah.
um,
For
because
sure.
of how well produced they are. And I'm gonna be honest, man. I think Snoop's rapping on here is good.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Snoop's rapping on some of these songs. I was like, nah, Snoop is he back in that old pocket, but he's talking about stuff from a different perspective to a certain degree. And I think
Yeah.
it was cool. I think it was cool hearing Snoop rap like this again.
It
So
was, and only like someone, I won't say only someone like a Dr. Dre, but like a Dre Pharrell, like they're able to push Snoop in this type of way. Because I feel like I don't want to make it sound like he typically mails it in, but I just feel like he's relying on like kind of old flows, old rhyming schemes, and just cadences. But I feel like a Dre or a Pharrell will, encourage him to mix things up and
yep.
push lyrically in ways others may not. So yeah, he definitely sharpened his writing on this one for sure.
Yeah. What were your thoughts listening to it?
I think like I want to commend them first for continuing to make music because again, I feel like this has been debunked many a times, but it's projects like these that just further prove the point like, yo, there's no age limit on music. There's
Yeah.
no age limit on rap because you have rock stars still doing worldwide tours and everything, but when it comes to hip hop, we're like, oh, he's old. Oh, I want to retire. I got to retire at 35. No, these dudes are in their 50s approaching their 60s, still making not just music, but quality music. The production on here, bro, this is a feel-good album for me. It's very timely
Yeah.
around the holidays. So I just felt good, bro. I just felt like, you know what I'm saying? Just like a good positive start to the holiday season because of this album too.
It's a good vibe.
It's a good vibe. I think like if I had to critique it, man, I would just say for me, the beginning is I know we tend to like have albums where we're like, oh, this is kind of top heavy. I actually think this is reverse. I actually like the tail end a lot more than the
Okay.
beginning, which is crazy. I think like foreplay Shangri-La, like I'm like, like I don't know how this album is gonna go. But by the time I hear Gorgeous with Janae Aiko, I'm like, okay. And
Yeah.
then like another part of me with Sting, actually, I like. I I actually
Really?
like the rock-esque element or infusion to it for some reason. It's
Okay.
something that I didn't expect to hear from him. But once I heard Snoop on it and them combining and Dre is like, because Dre got that iconic voice, so he's like, whatever, sting him or whatever, whatever he said to him. I was like, okay, like, all right, it's different, but I like it. And then by the tail end, bro, once you get to Gangsta Pose and the Negotiator, I'm like, okay, this is kind of like
Yeah.
old S
Yeah.
like Snoop and Dre. You know what I mean? And that's what I would have probably preferred for a full
Same.
body of work. You know what I mean? I'd rather have heard like something like that, or even a sticky situation, which has R&B-esque element to it, I believe.
Yeah.
I would have preferred that. Guns and Smoke, bro. To see 50 Cent, Eminem, Snoop, Dre, just the generations of Dre connected artists.
It's crazy.
Music, bro, it was phenomenal, dog. So overall, this is a good project. Yo, I didn't even like make the connection between Doggy Style and Missionary until we got on the podcast, like pre-recorded. And I'm like, and I'm looking at the cover. I'm like, this is basically a black troll. And like, come on, bro.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
Like,
it's
yeah,
childish. It's very childish.
it's childish, but you know,
But the original album cover was also wild, so it makes sense.
yeah,
You got to keep on brand with
yeah,
it.
man.
But But
Yeah,
shout out Snoop. Huh?
yeah, shout out Snoop and Dre because the production again, bro. Like Dre never misses when it comes to not only producing the beat, like producing the flow of like everything and the
Right.
mixing. That's like I heard he's like a freaking chemist or just like a engineer when it comes to mixing these type of records, bro. Have you heard that
I've
before?
heard the exact same thing. I've heard that Dr. Dre's mixing abilities in the studio is unlike anybody else's.
Mm,
Like artists will brag about like, and producers will brag about working with Dre and being like, "Yo, like I've never seen anybody
mm,
who mixes songs with as much detail as Dr. Dre." And I can hear it on here, like playing it in the car. I was like, "Oh no, this sounds crazy!"
mm-hmm.
Like they're like some of the joints on there. Like when I was playing, I want to say it was it might have been Gorgeous.
Uh-huh.
I think it was Gorgeous. In the car, it just sounded crazy. Like the mixing of it is amazing. Like you can tell he pays even like when the beat drops versus when it comes back in, when it goes into one speaker and pans to the other speaker, like stuff like that. When I hear Dr. Dre's production, I'm like, no, he pays attention to detail when mixing audio.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
yeah, man, Dre is like that, man. And I agree with you. I would have liked to hear, maybe they can do it another time, but I definitely would have liked to hear a super West Coasty
Yeah.
sound. I think
Mm,
this one they tried to make it a little bit more modern at times, uh,
yeah.
and I think it works for some songs, other songs not as
Mm.
much. But all in all, it's a feel good album. I definitely would recommend checking it out for sure.
I
Like,
would, bro. And I think it will surprise a lot of people who are more accustomed or recognize Snoop for maybe his broadcast on the Olympics or know him for his reality show or know him for some of his other exploits, you know what I mean? And some of the other things that he does, or for Dre with his headphones, who forget what impact these artists have made and continue to make, you know what I mean,
yeah,
as hip hop legends, bro. So I think it will surprise a lot of folks who don't associate them necessarily with music. I was watching a video of Cameron and Mace, their sports talk show, and they were talking about their own children not recognizing Ice Cube or Will Smith for being MCs, bro. So it's crazy.
yeah. I,
27. So I'm probably not too much older than their children in the larger scale of things. And I'm like, that's crazy to me. But that's
yeah.
just the nature of the
No,
generational divide.
no, I see it with my students all the time, and it's
Hmm.
crazy because like you said, like we think like 10 years isn't that much time. Like I'm 31, so like some of the students are 21, but like a lot of
Hmm.
them don't know even in the hip hop class. Like when I'll mention Ice Cube or even Ice T and these people, like they recognize them from acting. Will Smith, same way.
Hmm.
Like I had
Yeah.
students literally be like, when I had a Will Smith song on one of their playlists, they were like, I didn't realize Will Smith rapped. I was like, huh? Like,
Yeah.
but it's not like Will Smith wasn't a successful rapper. Like Will Smith has Grammys.
He's the first rapper to win a Grammy.
Yeah, like multiple
Like,
Grammys.
yeah. And that's crazy, bro. Big Willie, man. You know what I
Big
mean?
Willie
So,
style. You know what I'm saying?
yo. And I actually
Get
want to
jiggy
ask you
with it.
this. I
Y'all know
want to
nothing
ask you
about
this about with the Dre and Snoop album. Like, I remember like in the like maybe really all through the 20 or the 2000s, 20 early 2010s, maybe up until maybe he dropped the album Compton. Detox was like the hidden album that everybody wanted a piece
Oh
of.
man.
Oh, you're hearing about him doing studio sessions with this artist, this artist, this artist to piece it together. And originally, people don't know this. Dr. Dre and Kendrick Lamar, the first reason why they even connected is because he wanted him on Detox. And they actually recorded various songs for it. But obviously, as we know, it never came out. It leaked a little bit, like some songs leaked, but it never officially came out. Like, how do you feel about Dre's like legacy or maybe this album, knowing that the context of even that, like Detox never really came to shape?
So I think, man, detox is like Bigfoot at this point. Like it's like you hear about it,
Yeah.
but you don't know if it's real.
Mm.
Um, and it's crazy to me because it's like I don't. I wonder at this point because it's been. I mean, you right. It's been like 15, 20 years of this
Yeah.
episode. I'm
Yeah.
wondering if he plans on it being a posthumous album at this point.
Mm.
I
Mm.
wonder. In my mind, it's kind of like, do you just plan on like after you're gone, then it just comes out or something? Like maybe he has a larger plan for it like that. Because if not, it's like, man, this is the longest album rollout in history.
Yeah.
Like the fact that there's an album of yours and we know the name, like, and you know what it would do culturally and how many
Mm.
people would flock to that album would go. just off of the hip hop fans and how long we've heard about the name Detox. If Dr. Dre Detox pops up on people's phone, they're listening to it immediately.
Immediately, bro. Yeah.
Immediately. So it's like
Yeah.
you know the impact that it could have. But he's continued to drop projects since that aren't Detox. So I don't know. I really don't know what his goal is for. I would like
Mm.
to hear some of those records. Maybe it's his perfectionist in him that he keeps changing stuff or adding
Yeah.
stuff, and he doesn't just know what he wants to put on it. But I've also heard that Dr. Dre has like thousands of songs.
Oh, he has to, bro. And he has to. And I guarantee you, if we were to like crack in his hard drive and actually play him out loud, we would think to ourselves, why did you never drop this, bro? Like,
Yeah.
why did you keep this for yourself and not give it to the people? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I've heard that he's a real studio rat too. There's certain people who are like live in the studio, like how Pac was.
Yeah.
Like Pac was only what 25 when he passed away, and
Hmm.
the amount of music he had recorded before he passed is just like insane. And I think that there are
Yeah.
Prince was like that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's they say there's thousands of unreleased Prince records. You know what I mean? So,
And for our younger hip hop fans who listen to the pod, Juice World, like to an extent, has
mhm.
like hundreds, if not thousands, of records himself. And he died, I think he was 21, 22. So
Yeah,
certain people just they really love music in that way. You know what I mean? And they're perfectionists. Like Dr. Dre is a known perfectionist. So and you can hear it. Like even on his album Compton, like I personally love it. Is it one of those albums that people go to and reference? No.
I
But
like it.
it's
I like it too.
yeah, but it's amazing. Like Dre's amazing. We know this, but Dre and Snoop can't beat the combo. Can't beat it.
No, you can't, man. And I think, like I said, I think it was good to for me. It was good to really hear him rap again.
Hmm.
To me,
For
that
sure.
that was one of the biggest things. Is it was really good to hear Snoop rapping like that again. And even on Compton, speaking of Compton, one of my songs on there that I've always liked and went back to is "It's All on Me."
Yeah.
There's a song that I know on that album that I've always went back to. I was trying to think of the name of the song, but
Yeah.
yeah, man, yeah, but dope, 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 man. We got there was another project that dropped.
Yes, sir. Let Us Pray Chapter X. DMX posthumous record. So I was under the impression that would be a full kind of a full length
Me
album,
too.
but instead it's like four new songs, prayers more so. Which you could speak to this. DMX was known for that throughout his entire like career and everything. Yeah.
Absolutely. So DMX, and I've talked about this in my class too, man. DMX was really known for him having a spiritual connection outside of music that he would actually present in music. And I think that it was been really dope. I'm thinking like even on concert, DMS would be known to just break out in prayer and break out in full tears in the middle of a concert,
Mm,
and you know what I mean. Same thing on albums. A lot of the interludes and skits on a lot of his albums are prayers. It's always been crazy because even on his songs that are like hype or more like violent and all of
mm,
that, um, he'll still make sure he puts those prayers in between um
mhm.
his projects. Like almost all of his projects have prayers in them. And I think that that's kind of been his thing. So it was dope the fact that they rolled out a project just with his prayers. I do wish that they had let us know that because for me, I thought it was gonna be a whole album.
Yeah.
I came in with the expectation like I'm waiting on DMX to start rapping. Like I'm like okay, the beat gonna drop at any moment now, but it never did.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
but I thought it was dope, man. I think it was cool that they have these like unreleased prayers from DMX and that they use dope producers to produce it, but then also like other dope artists like Killer Mike and Snoop and all these other people to like pray as well and give some vocals. I thought it was really, really cool. What were your thoughts?
No, I think it was dope, man. For those, obviously, you all don't know this, but we're recording on a Sunday, Sunday morning at that. So I was like, yo, this is like really, this is what I needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So really dope. And one of my favorites on this kind of four song offering is Until I'm Gone, with Snoop
Hmm.
Dogg, Terrence Martin, Alina
Hmm.
Bird. Like, I was just like, man, this is beautiful. And just sitting back. I don't know how often I would go to this other than for moments or occasions such as this one, but I know for DMX fans, this has to be a big one.
Yeah.
This has to be inspiring in some form or fashion. I wasn't always the biggest DMX fan. I feel like I was born really after his prominent reign. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Not born, but like, I got into hip hop later. So But I know he was a transcendent star and he'll be greatly missed. So I know for hip or DMX fans in particular, like this is probably refreshing or much needed. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, man. And I think that X left a legacy of some truly layered music, and I think that his music is gonna live on because of that. Like he has songs, yeah, he has. Some people know him for, you know, party up and these like party records. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? But he also has those records like Slipping, you know what I mean, that really
Hmm.
changed people's life, including mine. It was a song that I listened to when I first heard it. I was like, oh, like I ran that song back like 10 times when I first heard it because it just was so, I resonated with what he was saying so much, and I was able to really feel, you really hear his pain in the song, you know what I mean? And I think that songs like that, and like I said, these prayers that he was able to put in spirituality and songs like Lord Give Me a Sign being one. I remember when that song dropped and it was big, you know what I mean? And I think
Hmm.
he's always tried to incorporate spirituality into his music as well. And I think that it's one of the reasons why his music is gonna live on for sure. And DMX is one of those people who I don't think is spoken about, given enough credit in hip hop.
Yeah, especially lyrically. Like people don't of course they give him his props. And he rose up the ranks, if I'm not mistaken, by battling like
He
the
battled
battle between
Hov.
him and Jay-Z, yeah, is like spoken about like from folks that were around that time within those circles, bro.
It's on
Like, yeah,
camera.
but it's on camera too. Yeah,
Y'all, you
you're
never saw the
right.
video? Yeah, it's on
I
camera.
never seen the video, bro.
Oh no, you should
Yeah,
watch it.
not in
Not the
full.
whole thing's not on there, but it's like one of the, I guess, rounds of it.
Uh-huh.
It's on camera.
Yeah, and they say X got, you know what I mean, the better of them. Like that's what I've heard.
I've
Like
heard so.
most times, people be like, "Oh, it's a draw." Like, yeah, he won, bro. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
let's keep it a bean. So, yeah, man, X is legendary and conscious messaging. Like that's inherently conscious. You know what I mean? So I don't think people talk about his versatility and quite enough. And he's somebody that's been open with his struggles. You know,
Hmm.
with a lot of things. So, yo, shout out to X, man. Definitely a missed figure in hip hop for sure.
100%. And like I said, I think it's because I think a lot of people only know him for his biggest records.
Yeah.
The X Don't Give It to You, the Party
Mhm.
Up, the
Rough Riders
Rough
Anthem.
Riders Anthem. I
Yeah.
think people a lot of times know him for those and haven't really dove deeper into his albums. But if you dig deeper into some of his albums, man, he got some really impactful, meaningful songs. So I would say start with Slipping if you've never heard any of DMX's really like thought provoking records. I would say
Hmm.
start with Slipping. Um, and then another one is They Don't Know.
They
I
don't
believe
know.
They
That's a
Don't
good
Know
one.
is another one that I feel like you should listen to if you've never heard any of DMX's like more conscious or thought provoking records. So
Hmm.
yeah, for sure, man.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So
man. So let's transition to hitting hits, bro. What are some
hidden
songs,
hits.
some records? Like, what have you been listening to over the past week or so since our last EP? Yeah.
Yeah, man. For hidden hits, man, this is a segment where we talk about some songs that aren't necessarily hits, but we feel like
Mhm.
should be hits because of how fire they are. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And we try to some of it to be from popular artists, but a lot of people from artists who may not be as popular, who people may not know in that same way. One that I want to give a shout to, and this is an artist who out of Chicago. His name is Golden Child. It's spelled
Mm,
Goal, like gold, then
mm,
Chyld for child.
mm,
He got a song called We Gods. I really,
mm.
really like it, man. Artist out of Chicago, I believe connected with the NOI and Fruit of Islam and all of that, does a lot of activism and stuff in Chicago. But dope, like hard hitting album, like almost sounds like drill adjacent, but he's saying like
Mm.
positive stuff, and not,
Yeah.
but it doesn't sound like it's a religious rapper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, messaging in there that you're like, oh, okay, but it's yeah, dope. I would say check it out, man. The song is called We Gods. His project that came out this year is called War Cry.
Okay.
Yeah, but hard, hard. Definitely an artist to look out for. And like I said, his messaging is more so about it's very militant, it's very like, you know, um, yeah, like community building, you know what I mean? But it sounds like it's hard. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's almost like you're listening to something positive and you don't even realize you're listening to something positive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I would definitely say check them out, man.
Fire. I've been on an R&B or alt and That's like the category that I say is like it's R&B, but it's rap, but it's not, it's a mixture between. So I've been on that wave lately. I've been listening to Destin Conrad. He's one of my favorite
Mm-hmm.
B kind of artists.
Yeah.
I know this isn't necessarily new, but I was listening to War off of Submissive 2, his like LP or like, mixtape adjacent like record. I've really been enjoying that. So I would definitely say if you haven't tapped into Destin Conrad, do it. You can
Mm-hmm.
listen at any point of his music. He's really consistent. Um, I've also been listening to Smino's new album. And I'll probably review that on my YouTube channel. Just because I feel like it hasn't been talked about enough. It's called Maybe in Nirvana, but I've been listening to Dear Friend, which talks about really his journey from St. Louis, because he, No Name, like and
Yeah.
all, right? Yeah. So he
Uh-huh.
moved to Chicago when he was younger. And so he's like, he kind of has that Chicago like underground type of sound. And he kind of came up with No Name. They're in a group, I believe, and a lot of like local creatives that have since gone on to like do bigger things. So he talks about his up or his like kind of journey from Chicago onto I guess the mainstream stage. And then I've been listening to Glow-Fi with Raven Lene, one of my favorite vocalists right now. Her and Smino song called Glow-Fi is fire too. Definitely
Mm-hmm.
suggest listening to those two. I have larger thoughts on the album itself. Not one of my favorites by Smino,
Mm-hmm.
though it's decent. You know what I mean? This one I recommend is called Whole Nouns. Okay. It's, yo, I love Thundercat. So anything Thundercat touches to me is pretty much gold. You know what I mean? So
Well,
Smino has Whole Nouns with Thundercat and Reggie. Definitely check that out. But that's what I've been listening to, bro. Known
okay.
artists, recognizable artists, but with some hits that I like for sure. Or songs that I like. Yeah.
Nice, nice, bro. And then yeah, I think those are the biggest ones. Another song, man, I want y'all to check out if you haven't heard it. I believe this. Let me see when this came out. I think it dropped this year. Yeah, Chance the Rapper 3333
Yes.
is
Yeah.
another one that came out that I want y'all to check out, man. There's four threes, 3333, by Chance the Rapper, man. Another one that I really want y'all to check out if you haven't heard it, man. Chance has dropped some dope music in the last year.
Mhm.
Just singles. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
everybody's waiting on his album to drop, but he's given some good joints to listen to in the meantime, in between time. So yeah, definitely recommend that too.
And I need that album chance, yo. Black Star Line, like we need that album.
Yeah, go
We
ahead,
need
drop that.
that. We need that, bro. Like 333. It's 3,333, right? Like that's
Exactly.
it.
Yep.
Fire, bro. Like, and I think it really speaks to where he's at mentally too.
Yeah.
Um,
And I believe the theme of that one, if I'm not mistaken, is there was a concert he had that he was expecting to sell out, but he sold 333 tickets instead, and it didn't end up selling out. And like with this headspace he was in because of that, and
yeah.
it's dope record, man. Dope storyteller.
And I've been noticing, like, I don't know, maybe this is an off pod combo, but I've been noticing like his engagements haven't been quite the same like that they once were. I don't feel like people have been speaking about him in the same light, but Chance is amazing, bro. Like people
Yeah.
need to recognize that. And that song should serve as a reminder. One of the many songs he's released this year that should serve as a reminder. Like he's an amazing artist, and we actually need to give him props. Whether you liked his last album, you loved it, or you hated it, whatever the case is, like he's a artist to be respected. So definitely check
And,
that out.
yeah, and both in and out of the booth, man. The amount of community work he's done alone,
Yeah,
being from somebody who's from Chicago, like I'm aware of a lot of the community work that he's doing, and it's like bar none when it comes to some of the stuff the entertainers are doing. And well, a lot of times when people are saying like, why aren't these artists doing enough for our community? Like, no, he's doing more than enough.
yeah, and he always has, bro.
He
Yeah,
always has since he's been out, man. I'm talking everything from Toy Drive, coat drives, taking kids to museums and paying for it, renting out theaters for kids to go see movies. Like I've seen all of this stuff. So like
Yeah.
there's an artist who's still, even though he could have easily moved to Hollywood and all of that, he's decides to stay in Chicago and keep a non for profit there and do work in the city. So, yeah, man, definitely shout out Chance the Rapper, and Social Works, I believe, is the name of his not for profit out there that does a lot of community work. So,
That's fire.
yeah,
And on top of that, it just reminded me of Kendrick doing like a pop out
I
like
saw that.
equivalent in Nickerson Gardens. For those that don't know, this is like one of the biggest hoods in LA. This is
Yeah,
J Rock's hood. And so to have like I think it was like kind of a holiday or toy. What
yeah,
was
and your pay for entry was just bringing a toy, bro. To
yeah,
go see
man.
some of the biggest artists in the world.
Doechii came out, SZA came out, Kendrick was there. You know what I mean? Amongst
Absol,
Absol, yeah.
yeah,
So
bro, like.
amazing,
And from the
amazing.
clips that I've seen of it, I haven't seen it in totality. I don't know if anybody actually shot a full video of it, but the clips I've seen, man, it looked crazy.
It
Glorilla
looked
came out too, I believe.
Yeah, she did. She did.
Yeah,
I forgot Glow came out. So that looked amazing. But that's the type of impact we mean. Like socially conscious artists don't just it doesn't end or start when you get into a studio or booth. Like it's the work you do outside of it. It's what your music does, but it's also the work an actual footprint you leave behind as well outside of the studio.
yeah.
So that's crazy, man.
But
Respect to them both.
respect to them both, man. For Kendrick at this stage of his career to say, you know what, before I go on this stadium tour, let me go ahead and perform in Nickerson Gardens. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just dope, man. Like people can say what they want. If you like Kendrick's music, if you don't, whatever. But the way he maneuvers his career, bro, is just like how can you hate on that?
That's what I'm saying. Some artists just got it, man. I think TDE overall just got it, bro. Like, you can tell they're rooted from some good folks. You know what I mean? Same with Chance. Chance
Same with
is.
Chance, absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. Look, bro, another dope episode, man. Do we got anything else?
Nah, I would just say for folks, for our next episode or end of year episode, we got a special collaboration, which I want to kind of keep it. Should we reveal it or keep it like sacred
Let's keep
right now?
let's keep it low for now till we
Yeah,
till,
yeah, yeah.
till we have a data when we're gonna drop it. But we have
Okay.
recently done a dope collaboration with another Philly podcast, man.
Super dope.
Yeah, it was dope. We want to make sure we get that out to y'all in the proper way. But dope, man, dope.
Yeah. It's entertaining with some good people. Some fiery debates, hip hop debates, social debates.
I
A
trolled a
whole
little bit, man. I did. I did. I
lot.
decided to choose violence and troll a little.
Yo, but it's all love. So yeah, I would
So,
just say keep a lookout for that. But other than that, bruh, just another great episode, man, of Rap and Reason.
another dope episode of Rap and Reason, man. Look, we've kept our promise, man. We have not missed a week yet, man. This is episode 23, 23 weeks solid dropping
Yeah.
episodes, man. But we need y'all to hit the subscribe button on YouTube, man. Do us a favor, bro. It's free. We ain't asking y'all for no money yet. Uh, we ain't got no
Right.
cash up in there yet, or none of that. We ain't asking for no, what I mean, you to do in any financial way. But we do want you to hit the subscribe button to support, leave some comments under the videos, show some engagement, all of that good stuff, man. And we'll keep dropping it. Follow us at Rap and Reason on Instagram and TikTok.
Yes.
Facebook, I think we're on there too now.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. And just stay engaged with what we're doing, man. We'll keep rolling out this content on hip hop that we know you love.
Yes, sir. Yes. Until next time, brother.
Till next time, bro. Peace.